Welcome to Open Up's Practice a Day. I'm Megan. Today we're going to explore a little bit of playing and getting creative. We'll also be stretching out our hips and working through some hip opening movements. So we'll explore some different ways we can do this. You might want to find a chair or a wall for some stability, or you can just practice freestanding on your mat or from a seated position. Totally up to you. I'm going to start in a chair. I'm going to move forward to the edge of my chair and then cross one foot over the other. So making sure my crossed leg keeps a flexed foot to protect my kneecap. My knee is reaching out to the side. I'm just gonna gently push into my thigh, feeling that stretch through my hips. Once you get comfortable, you might find that you can hinge your body forward a little to deepen that stretch. Continue to breathe in and out. Holding this stretch just a little bit longer. Maybe you'll even hinge forward a little more. And then coming back to a seat, uncrossing those legs, shaking it out before moving on to the other side. So now we'll cross our other leg over top, making sure that foot is flexed. Knee reaches out to the side. Our hand finds the inner side of our thigh and just gently push. Noticing if this hip feels any differently than your last hip. Mine is tighter on this side. You can even use your elbow or your forearm to apply a little more pressure. And then you have the option to hinge forward a little. Continuing to breathe. Maybe this feels pretty uncomfortable to you right now. Maybe it feels great. I'm just noticing that feeling and then just sitting with it a little bit. Possibly hinging forward a little bit more. Breathing in, breathing out. This is called our seated figure 4 pose, by the way. And then carefully sitting up, uncrossing those legs, shaking or moving it out. Now we're gonna move to the floor if you have space. I'm gonna move my chair over to the side, not too far, because I'm gonna come back to it. I'm going to take my body down to the floor. Leaning back onto my hands behind me for some support. Just like in the chair, I'm going to cross one leg over the other, flexing through that foot. And then maybe picking my hips up and moving them either closer to my planted foot or further away, depending on how deep you want the stretch. And if you'd like, you can find a little gentle movement, rocking with the hips, swaying of the legs side to side. All while breathing in and out. Sometimes I like to hold that rock on one side. And then maybe hold that rock on the other side. Before coming back to center, untangling my legs, resetting, giving my ankles or my wrists a little bit of a roll before switching sides. A joint is a joint, right? Something like that. So leaning back on my hands for support and crossing my other leg over top, flexing through that foot, picking my hips up, and then moving them closer to my planted foot or further away. Pulling those shoulder blades together behind me and trying to keep our shoulders away from our ears. We tend to creep up into this position, shoulders to ears, all too often. Pulling those shoulders away from the ears, opening your chest so you can fully breathe in and out. If you'd like, you can find that gentle movement side to side. Good job. And then maybe holding that twist to one side. Continuing to breathe. And then taking it to the other side and holding there. Continuing to breathe. Before bringing those legs back to the center and untangling them. You can move our knees just side to side if you want. Give those wrists a break by rolling them or stretching out the forearms. And then we're gonna come to our feet for our third variation on a figure four, a hip opening stretch. You can use your chair for stability or the wall. I'm gonna use the wall this time. Planting one foot, crossing the other leg over top, and then hinging forward at the hips and sending my tailbone down toward the ground. Opening up this knee to the side. Good. And then sitting only as low as what feels comfortable. Breathing. If you're balancing, it can be helpful to find a drishti or a spot ahead of you and just stare at it, focus on it. Spot that doesn't move. Continuing to breathe in and out, maybe pressing that thigh outward just a little bit, maybe not. Feeling your ankles and your feet work to keep you stable. Continuing to breathe in and out. And then relaxing, standing up, shaking out those legs. Before moving on to the other side, again, you can use a wall, a chair, nothing at all. Our balance can be different every single day. Someday you might need a wall, someday you might not. Crossing the other leg over top, flexing through the foot. Hinging forward at the hips, and then sitting into this figure four. Trying to relax your face and your neck, your shoulders. Feeling the stretch through your hips. Feeling your ankles and your feet working to hold you here. Maybe you'll pick your toes up off the ground and give them a little wiggle. Maybe you'll hinge forward even more to deepen that stretch. Continuing to breathe in and out. And then carefully making your way out, shaking out those feet and legs. We're gonna come down to the floor again. We're gonna move into a Baddha Konasana, or bound angle pose. So soles of the feet together to touch. If that's not accessible to you, you can keep your feet nice and wide, or you can even sit in a nice wide V. Doesn't really matter. Knees are wide, hips are open. Let's inhale, getting tall through our sport. Let's inhale tall through our spine. Exhale, hinging forward in those hips, but still keeping that nice tall spine. Holding here. If your legs are in a wide V, same thing. Legs are nice and wide, we're inhaling tall through our spine. Exhaling, hinging forward. Just holding. Allowing our lower back to open up. Allowing our hips to open up. And then making your way out of your stretch. We're just gonna take a few minutes now to lie down on our backs and just move a little bit as we allow our spine, allow our body to really lengthen and relax after all of that hip and back stretching. So I'm gonna lay down on my back. You can take a full body stretch if you like. Arms, legs extend away from you. You can reach your feet up toward the ceiling or find legs on a wall. You can lift your legs and your arms for some dead bug if you'd like, or even find a happy baby. Finding some movement or doing something that feels fun to you. It's just stretching, it's not that serious. Continuing to breathe in and out. And then it's getting harder and harder for me to reach my toes. Maybe rocking a little front to back, side to side, and releasing. Finding a little bit of Shavasana. We're gonna just take 30 seconds to breathe here. So relax your body in whatever position feels good. And then carefully, however you need to get there, you can make your way up to a seat on your mat. Maybe crossing your legs, maybe not. Let's all take one final inhale through our nose. Open our mouth, exhale. Thank you for participating in Open Up's practice a day with me as we opened our hips and played around with creativity during our figure 4 pose. I hope to see you again soon.